Hey, um, I wanted to point out something, and this is something that I've been seeing, especially, I'm on vacation right now, and I did not know that I'm able to upload, content. But it's for a reason because before I left, I was trying to find a way to just make videos. And for some reason, I just could not, find a way to even, make. Let me turn this off. Okay, cool. I could not even find a way to make content. Everywhere I go is so much of a distraction because, as you can see, especially in the house where I'm at, the smoke detector. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm in the process of moving. I'm definitely getting better equipment. But it was just so some reason. Usually, when I'm able to upload, I can be able to upload. You know what I mean, and make videos. But some reason, I was just curious to just like, why can't I? So I was like, you know what? While I'm here, on my little vacation, because I'm leaving soon in a couple of days. You know, coming here where I am in this country, and I'm not gonna say when, but I realized that okay, I see why I did not upload anything because usually I upload in advance. And I came here and I was just like walking around, chilling. I went to the beach, and that's all I did. I went out to go eat, walk around, and explore. But one of the things that I realized coming here, it was breathtaking, but something that I just could not get over. It was so much people like that are in need. I seen so many people that were homeless. And I'm gonna give you a hint. Where I am is like where a lot of tourists come here. And you would think that, okay, you know what? It wouldn't be that way, right? But I get it. This is a global thing. But I must say, for us that's living in a first world country, and I know things are getting, it's not peaches and cream over there. And some things that we just can't control. But to my understanding, from what I'm seeing, there's some people, especially in South America, and especially in the Caribbean, but especially in South America, there's some things that's out of some people's control. The economy is not as, it's not good, And I must say, if you're living in a first world country, appreciate where you are. There's a thing going around where a lot of people, and especially me, I can say this too. At one point, I wanted to leave the United States and move to another country. This was like years ago. But at some point, I had to sit back and think. There's many people looking to come into the United States, and there's a lot of people that want to leave the United States. And I thought about this, right? Why is this so many people want to come to a first world country? Because they're seeking opportunity. And then when they make these opportunities, I know so many people who come into this country, come into like a country like United States or going to Canada, and they make something, anything out of something. And they could be able to create a life that they desire. But I'm not telling you that for us people who's living in a first world country, and I'm not saying that if you're living in a third world, second world, that it's not easy, because some people have it good, But what I'm saying is to people, appreciate the life that you have. There's some people can't even stay, and don't even have a roof over their head. It's crazy. It's like stuff that I'm seeing, just can't deny it. And me personally, I appreciate being in the States. I'm not one of those people that's like, I want to leave this and that. Don't get me wrong. I would love to being in an island and, sipping, you know, something nice, you know what I mean? And just chilling. But I definitely do love being in the United States. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I know there are times it's getting hard and it's not easy. And things could happen to anyone, right? But all I could say that even if you're living in a third world country, you're living, South America, it don't matter where you are, a country of continent of Africa, and you got to please appreciate what you have, because it's like the stuff that I've seen, it just made me see that, wow, like I really appreciate my life. It's not, I'm not perfect. I don't have the things that I would, all the things I would love to have desire, right? But I'm able, and I have health. I had a roof over my head. And it is crazy because it's like I'm seeing kids. It's like they're crying, and and you see a little girl, a young teenager, she's on her phone and she's on the floor. And I know this is kind of raw, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know who they are, but it just touches my heart, because it's like I feel like I have to do something, or even if I just have something, I just give. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying here for make people, anyone, to feel like that, hey, you feel bad or anything, right? But all I could say is just, you watch my content, you watch the videos that I'm making, I'm always forward. I just say appreciate what you have. Appreciate it. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of you who's watching my videos, you could be struggling. It could be about anything. And I'm not telling you, and I don't have no sympathy for you, because, hey, who knows? You could be in that position yourself, right? But for those who are just, who's living in, like, let's say first world country, and you have, let's say, I don't know for everyone, but like you had or have government assistance, right? I'm looking at these people, like, for an example, young lady came up to me, she just grabbed my hand and shook my hand, and she's trying to talk to me, right? And we just talking, and she's trying to offer me something about a service, just put it like this, right? Nothing like, you know what I'm talking about. Some people, what you mean? Let's say she's selling me something, a service like a dentist or something with teeth. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell her that, I got something to go, I'm trying to go. She's not trying to let me go. For some reason, I just stopped. Young lady, we're just chopping it up, and then she called her supervisor. And then they brought me to the office, and I'm like, they put a translator. I'm like, but for some reason, I just stopped. Just stop. You know what I mean? So I told the young lady, hey, I have to go. I'm meeting someone. She said, okay, let me get your number. I gave her a number. And then the young lady who stopped me, she told me, hey, come here. She sent me in a relationship. Can you at least buy me a soda? For me personally, instantly, I just felt like I had to stop. I'm not saying that something was wrong with her, but I know, especially I was in the Caribbean, when I used to go back and forth home, some of these people, they're working off of commission. They're doing what they got to do to survive. So I understood that, you know what? She's doing what she have to do. And I walked with her to the supermarket, which was like right there close to her job. And she got some soda, and then she grabbed a bag of chips. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and we laughed. You know what I mean? And she said, she looked at me, can I grab more? I said, grab anything you want. She went, and I'm not trying to make it look like that. I'm like, yo, I need, somebody to look, I'm trying to get some brownie points or anything. But it was just so, I'm happy I did that, but at the same time, I was just observant, And then she went and grabbed some other things. And then what was funny too, she went and grabbed something else before she even went to the counter. And I looked at her, I just started laughing. She started laughing too. And then from what I realized is that she was depending on me to take the service for her to make money, which was a service. And before I left, it wasn't that much money. When you converted what she brought, and I looked at it, I'm like, damn, that's not a lot. But what was cool about her, the smile that she had. And she looked at me, was just like so grateful, like, thank you. And all it was a big loaf of bread, some sandwich meats, some, I don't know, maybe cheese, bag of chips, and what else? She grabbed the yogurt. That's what was so funny. She got some Coca-Cola. You know, and I'm looking at her. I'm just very observant. And then when I looked how much the price was, all those products that I think she got like 10 stuff. It was not even $10. And then I got the change back and I gave the rest to her. And I'm just like, yo, if it was somebody in the States, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people are not grateful, but you know, just the stuff that she had, she was just so happy. She didn't even ask me for money or anything. She just asked for a soda and something. And I could tell that she didn't eat. And then she was just so happy. And it just made me feel happy that I did that. And it's just like, dang, imagine me living that life. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know this young woman, you know, and I'm seeing guys on the street too. They're selling out flyers. This is how they making money, you know. And another guy, I gave him some money. He was just like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So I think one of the reasons I believe, and I feel like one of the reasons I came here, for me personally, was to like really appreciate what I have and be grateful. Also to just to clear my head. Because sometimes I sit back and I reflect and I think about like, dang, you know what I mean? Just life that I have, you know, I wish I could have this and have that. And there's a reason why I'm doing this video. I usually talk about things to be aware about, this, that, and the third, but I'm just saying this, y'all. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what you have. And I'm very blessed and I'm happy that I had be able to come to a country like this, because there's billions of people that could wish that could come here. Even before I left, I told some people where I was coming, I was like, oh man, you going there? You know, and when I tell some people, even I met some people at the airport, it's how many days you coming here for? I'm only coming here for like I said 4 days. 4 days only? Some people come here and stay weeks, months at a time, you know what I mean? But I just come here for a breath of fresh air and just chill. And I believe this is one of the reasons why I came here, you know, and I'm seeing that, wow. I'm seeing how people are moving, how people are living their lives. And this is like right in front of my face. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm basically sitting here walking to the coffee shop, because usually I do stuff online. Even though I'm on little vacation, but I still have to do some stuff online, right? And it's just crazy. Like, you're seeing rows of people just laying on the floor, sleeping. It's just like, wow, these are humans, you know? But like I said, appreciate your life. If you got a roof over your head, you even that just have a meal, just be happy. Just appreciate it. You know? We only have one life. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean these people are going to be doing this for the rest of their lives, right? But you find some people that come from other countries, and then they come cross over wherever they are now, homeless. You know, who knows? We don't know what kind of situation that they're into. But think about it. These are humans, you know? I know in the United States, especially I can say United States, that's where I am. There's millions of people that are like that too. But some people, you know, they choose that life, you know? Some people just don't choose that life, you know? And that doesn't make me to have less sympathy for them, right? But it's just like, it just hits harder when you in another country, and a lot of these people don't have that access like we have it in the States, if that makes sense, right? So, like I said, appreciate the life that you have, you know? Appreciate it. There's some people that just living their life off of commissions, and that's all they have. They're not eating, you know? So, All right. So this video is a little different though, but let me introduce myself to this Virginia best friend. You know, best friend. And I invite you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. They want to make it sentimental, but I believe this was like awakening for me just to realize that hey, appreciate the life that you have. You know, appreciate it. Or, you know, I got some blessings coming my way. You know, because definitely it's not easy. It's not easy for me too. But hey, I had to come here to realize that hey, appreciate the life that you got. If that makes sense. So again, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.